Welcome to the Rhoda Wilson Show, keeping you informed, entertained, and educated. My name is Rhoda Wilson, and I'm really excited about this new series because we've got wonderful topics, interesting guests here in the couch talking to you about the environment, health, wealth, and arts and media. But before I introduce you my guest, let me tell you a little bit about my guest. Refusal from the bank and lack of collateral did not stop Barbara Campbell from starting her own publishing business. Now she's the creator of Live Listing, Black Heritage Today, and she's the editor of the official, if I may say, Guide to the International Women's Month magazine, and a business will be celebrating 10 years very soon. And Barbara has also won many awards as a result of not giving up on her dream. Barbara, welcome to the Rhoda Wilson Show.
Hi, it's nice to be here. Thank you.
I'm so excited, Barbara. My gosh, you didn't give up, huh, girl? You decided, that's it, I'm going to set up this business.
Yeah.
Sort the bank, sort everybody else. So tell us, how did you, what actually motivated you, and how did you went about actually saying to everybody else, I don't care, I'm going to start this?
I'd been a journalist for a few years, and I had quite quickly risen through the ranks and become editor of one of the newspapers published by The Voice, the weekly journal, which I changed to The Journal. And I was actually the first one. They say that it was The Independent that was the first one to change from a broadsheet down to a tabloid size, but that was me. I changed the Journal from a broadsheet down to a tabloid size because I just thought it would be easier to have something like that to handle. So that's what I'd done, and then I got headhunted to work with the Journalism Institute, and after about a year or so I thought, no, I want to do my own thing. So I went to the bank, like you said, and told them what I wanted to do, and they said I didn't have enough collateral, I didn't have anything of value. So I mean, the only thing of value I have are my children, and they wouldn't take the kids. So I thought, okay, I went back home and I thought, well, what else do I have of value? And the only other thing I could think about was my life. So I cashed in my life insurance policy and I started my business.
Wow.
Yeah, in the back bedroom, I started my business. I cleared it out, turned it into an office, and began my business right there and then. And what drove me was the fact that I totally believed in what I was doing. Because at the time, there were no other magazines that were tapping into what was going on throughout the whole community. Time Out only covered things like what was happening in the mainstream community. They ignored the ethnic community, and there were so many things happening. And I thought I would like to pick up on that and tell people what's going on, and that's where I started Live Listings magazine. But
did you think that being, I suppose your background as a journalist obviously did help you and also gave you the contacts that you needed to do live listing?
It did. I wouldn't recommend anybody start a business in that particular industry unless they are a journalist, because the thing with being an entrepreneur and you're going to be a publisher and you don't know squat about journalism or how to write is you have to fork out money that you would not necessarily need to if you knew how to do it yourself. You know, and that served me in good stead because I could do a lot of the work myself. I must say, after the first issue, I had a lot of people coming on wanting to write for me, wanting to volunteer. It didn't matter whether they got paid, they just wanted to be in the publication. And because I taught journalism as well, I was able to help a lot of... Yes, I was able to help a lot.
There's no end to your talent, Barbara, I tell you.
But I helped a lot of student journalists come on board, and you know, some of my students are now working for the likes of Marie Claire, you know, and various mainstream newspapers and magazines, so yeah.
So tell us, what is Live Listing all about? Because you've got quite a few, so we're going to go through them, but let's go with Live Listing.
It's like Time Out. It's got all the things that Time Out has in it. And it tells you what's on, where to go, what's up, you know, just like Time Out does. But it doesn't just cover one community, it covers right across the board. You know, I did that until 2006, the latter end, and then I realized that because of my other business interests, it was really time consuming to be doing live listings, and not only that, but I was getting a heck of a lot more visitors to the site. So I decided to just put it online totally, and that's where it's been since 2006.
What is the website?
It's livelistingsmag.com.
So if anybody wants to find out what is happening around London, in the
London and outside.
So Barbara, but what was very important as well, which we're going to talk about, is you've got the Heritage as well, the Heritage magazine. This is the one with the most handsome man.
You know, I knew he was going to win.
How do you really?
I just felt it. You know, when you just feel that it's time for change.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and I really, so when he said that, I thought to myself, it's so true. You know, because I had actually decided to put him on the front cover before he said that. Because I myself thought it's time for change. We've got to have somebody different. And he's so charismatic. And I just think that the world, never mind just America, but the world is ready for somebody like that, in that kind of position, and preferably from the ethnic community. Because, you know, to be given an opportunity like that, to prove...
It's beyond dreams.
It is. When you think about the fact that black people started out, well, they didn't start out as slaves, but that's what they ended up. You know, they started out as kings and pharaohs, but they ended up being slaves. And I don't think the mainstream mind has actually come away from that. They still see us as second-class citizen. And now we've got a second-class citizen running the first-class citizens. Isn't it great?
That is fantastic. And also because I buy magazines for my scenes. If I buy all kinds of magazines, every magazine that comes out, I always buy them. And I see that a number of over the mainstream are actually putting Michelle Obama on their front cover. I never thought I would see a black person on the magazine's cover as famous as that. I can see with this particular one as well that Vogue had a black face on their magazine. What edition was this? What was recently?
I think it was 2007 that they did that, but I think that was done more as a press thing, a kind of like media gimmicky kind of thing, because at the end of the day, it started quite a lot of comments about, you know, we wanted to show that black people could sell publications and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, who were they selling to? They were still just selling to black people, believe it or not, because the black people in this country and abroad were so determined to prove to Vogue that black sells, and the fact that there's a black woman in Vogue is not going to deter from the selling of it, that they themselves sent it around all over the world to say to black people, go out and buy it.
Yeah, they did.
They did go out and buy it, and Vogue made a heck of a lot of money, again, out of black people. You know, so it didn't prove a point at all. It would have proved more of a point if it had sold to white people or any other race other than black people, but it didn't.
I like this picture of Barack Obama in front of this magazine, because I'm thinking that we need more role model. And what he is a great role model. But I also think as women, we need visual role models as well, don't you?
I do, and that's why I started this magazine, because I just felt that we needed to have something that represented women. And I started this one. I don't know if you want to have
this is this one.
That's a couple of years issues.
Yeah.
But I started
I
started that because one of my passion, happens to be women. And when I say that, I mean to empower them, to let them know that there's so much that they can do for themselves. Because I've been in situations where you have the self-doubt, you're down on the ground.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
And you feel, and when you've got someone, when you're down on the ground already and you've got someone kicking you, you feel worthless and you feel useless. And my message throughout this magazine is that you can actually help yourself.
But let me just stop you there. We are going to go through the magazine and talk more about it, because obviously we're celebrating International Women's Day. But we're going to take a break, so please don't go away. This is a very interesting subject. I hope you join us when we come back.